Alright guys, Jinhsi is finally in game, and in today's video, we are going to go through Jinhsi's best build, best team comps, best weapons, and of course, whether or not you should summon for this character. So let's not waste any time and let's go ahead and hop right into the video. So when we take a look at Jinhsi's combat roles, she is a main damage dealer and she is resonant skill damage. So what the resonant skill damage means is that her kit pretty much prioritizes her resonant skill. So you really have to focus on her resonant skill in order for her to pretty much do a ton of damage. So when we take a look at her whole kit, we come over here to the Forte. So the order that you guys really want to level up her Forte, first you want to focus on leveling up her Forte circuit, then you want to level up her resonance skill, and then you want to level up a resonance liberation and then normal attack. Or you can go from Forte circuit, resonance skill, normal attack, then resonance liberation. And the reason why I say normal attack is because you're pretty much going to use your normal attack or basic attack a lot so that you can pretty much activate her resonance skill. Because in order for you to use the different phases of her resonance skill, you have to use her basic attack, her fourth basic attack, or you have to use intro skill. So you might as well just level up her normal attack so that you can pretty much deal some more damage. Now, when we take a look at Jinhsi's Forte circuit, I'm not gonna lie, this has to be the longest Forte circuit description in the game. This is insane. So I'm gonna go ahead and summarize this for you guys with 4 simple words. She becomes a monster. So the way that you're pretty much going to trigger this Forte circuit is once you land your 4th basic attack, you want to use your resonance skill and she's going to enter the incarnation state. And then when she's in that incarnation state, you want to deal more basic attack, and then once you land your fourth basic attack again, you do your resonance skill and she's just pretty much going to do a lot of damage. She's going to summon a dragon, do a whole beam attack. It's just insane. So her Forte circuit, that's literally the core of her kit. And then when we take a look at her inherent skill, Radiant Surge, it says Jinhsi's spectral damage bonus is increased by 20%. So you want to make sure that you actually activate this so that she can deal some more damage. And then when we look at her last inherent skill, Converge Flash, damage multiplier of intro skill, Long's Halo, is increased by 50%. So I will say her intro skill isn't really that important, but she'll be able to deal some more damage with this, damage multiplier boost, which is really nice. So both inherent skills, very good for Jinhsi. Now for her ultimate, it's not really, that crazy. She can do some really good damage, but that's not the main focus of her kit. The main focus of her kit is her Forte circuit and resonance skill. So I will say her resonance liberation, you probably want to level up to at least level 6 or level 8, and then you want to max out her Forte circuit and resonance skill. All she does is pretty much summon the dragon, and that's literally it. So resonance liberation deals really good damage, but that's not really the main focus of her kit. Now this character does seem very complicated on paper, but when you actually play with her, it's going to be very easy for you guys to understand how she works. Now, when we talk about best weapons in slot for Jinhsi, Ages of Harvest is her #1 weapon. And the reason why is because, of course, it's going to give her additional crit rate, which is going to boost her damage, and is going to boost her attribute damage, which is really nice. Plus, it says when casting intro skill, is going to give the equipper Ageless Marking, which grants 24% resonance skill damage bonus for 12 seconds. Casting resonance skill gives the equipper Ethereal Endowment, which grants 24% resonance skill damage bonus for 12 seconds. So she's going to gain a lot of resonance skill damage bonus from this weapon. So this is literally the best weapon for Jinhsi. Now, the second best weapon in slot for Jinhsi is Verdant Summit. This weapon is no longer available, unfortunately, but if you do have this weapon is pretty much going to increase her crit damage, and is also going to increase the damage bonus of all resonance attributes by 12%. So this weapon is really good for Jinhsi if you don't have her main weapon in slot. Now the third best option for Jinhsi is Lustrous Razor. This weapon is going to increase her attack, energy regeneration, and resonance liberation damage. Now I will say her resonance skill is way more important than her resonance liberation. So the resonance liberation damage bonus isn't that huge, but I will say the attack percentage and the energy regeneration is actually not that bad for Jinhsi. So this is another decent option for Jinhsi if you don't have her top two 5-star weapons, which is pretty much her main weapon in slot, and of course the Verdant Summit. Now, when we talk about 4-star weapons, the Autumn Trace is a really good option for Jinhsi because it's going to increase her crit rate and attack. So Autumn Trace, this weapon is in the battle pass, just to let you guys know, but this is a really nice 4-star weapon for Jinhsi. Now, another decent 4-star weapon for Jinhsi is the Helios Cleaver. This weapon is pretty much going to increase her attack whenever she uses her resonance skill. So that's really going to benefit her because you are going to use Jinhsi's resonance skill a lot. So Helios Cleaver is another good option for Jinhsi. Now let's go ahead and talk about Jinhsi's best echo set. So the best echo set for Jinhsi is Celestial Light. This set is going to increase her spectral damage. And then for your 4-cost echo, you want to pick the Morning Aches, or you can choose Jui the Sentinel. I feel like Jui is way better, but Morning Aches is pretty much going to increase Jinhsi's spectral damage and resonance liberation damage, which is really nice. So Morning Aches is a really nice 4-cost echo for her, and the main stat for this 4-cost echo is going to be crit rate or crit damage. You want to get crit rate, crit damage for your 4-cost echo, and then for your 3-cost echo, you want to get spectral damage bonus. For both of these slots right here, it's going to be 3 costs, so you want to get spectral damage bonus for both of these slots. And then for the remaining slots, you just want to get attack percentage. So the best, echo formation for her is 4-3-3-1-1, and you want to go crit rate, crit damage, spectral damage bonus, and attack percentage. Now the best substats for Jinhsi is going to be crit rate, crit damage, basic attack damage bonus, attack percentage, and resonance skill damage bonus. So the reason why you want to get basic attack damage bonus is because you're going to use her basic attack a lot so that you can pretty much activate her incarnation state. So getting that additional basic attack damage boost is pretty much going to benefit her a lot. So crit rate, crit damage, resonance skill, basic attack, and attack percentage, those are the top substats that you guys should focus on for Jinhsi. Now let's go ahead and talk about best team comp. So the number one team comp for Jinhsi is going to be Yinlin, Verena, and of course Jinhsi. Now the reason why you want to use Yinlin is because Yinlin, she can deal coordinated attacks. So that's pretty much going to help Jinhsi build up her stacks for her forte circuit. So Yinlin is a nice option, plus she is going to amplify Jinhsi's resonance liberation damage. And then Verena, of course Verena, because she is a healer, and she's going to increase the entire team's damage. So this is literally the best team comp for Jinhsi. Now another good team would be Mortify and Verena, because Mortify can also deal coordinated attacks, which is going to help Jinhsi a lot, and he's going to buff heavy attack. Now another good team is of course Tao Chi and Verena, because Tao Chi is going to increase Jinhsi's resonance skill. Because if we come over here, if we take a look at Tao Chi, it says resonance skill damage amplification. So this is literally going to increase Jinhsi's resonance skill damage, which is really going to benefit her a lot. Now let's go ahead and check out her gameplay. Just to let you guys know, I did not summon for this character because I am saving up for the next unit, Chun-Li, but I pretty much understand how this character works. I'm just going to show you guys how her gameplay looks and how you want to play with this unit. So let's not wasting time. Let's go ahead and hop right into the gameplay. Now, I have good news for you free-to-play players. If you're trying to figure out if Jinhsi works perfectly fine at S0, yes, she does. She is a unit that doesn't need any sort of, copies or dupes in order for it to work. She works perfectly fine with 0 copies. She is a strong DPS unit. Plus, we don't really have any DPS spectral units in the game as of to right now. So Jinhsi, her potential and her value is very, very high as of to right now, because we don't even have a spectral DPS character in the game. So she is a unit that works perfectly fine at S0. So overall, Jinhsi is a very powerful spectral unit, and her potential is just going to increase more and more due to the fact that we don't have a spectral DPS unit in the game, and she's the only one. So she's not really competing with anybody else. She's not really competing with any other spectral unit besides, let's say, a Rover, the main character. I will say Spectral Rover isn't even that good, so she's not competing with anybody. So her potential and her value is just going to increase more and more. So Jinhsi, very powerful unit. She is very unique. The fact that she benefits from attribute damage, you're going to use her resonant skill, you're going to use her basic attack, plus you have to use coordinated attacks from your allies. She is she's a very complex character, but once you get to play with her, you'll understand how she works. So that's pretty much all I have for you guys in today's video. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't. I really appreciate it. I'll be catching you guys on the next one. Peace.